Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to show you a new model I found called FireRed Image Edit version 1.0. If you have used the Qwen Image Edit models before, specifically the 2509 or 2511 versions, this is going to feel very familiar. It is basically a dedicated image editing model, and you can actually use the Qwen Image Edit workflow inside of ComfyUI. As long as you have your clip and VAE downloaded, you can basically download this model, drop it inside the same exact workflow, and start testing. Now, they have a big claim here, and it's about high fidelity and, more importantly, consistency across different edits, which of course I will be testing. Okay, so before we go into the technical installation side, let's look at what this model can actually do. Down here in the demo section, you can see the range of edits possible. They basically showcase style transfers. It is important to note that it is on the same subject, and I can also see that it can handle additions as well. So these specific things here where we are adding dogs, fire, here is an umbrella to the existing scene. Regarding the versions, right now at the time of recording, we have the general purpose edit 1.0. Looking at their roadmap, they are planning on releasing a distilled version soon. There's also going to be a full text to image version. Now let's hope it's not disappointing like in the case of Z Image. Basically, we waited a while, and when Z Image came out, the wait was not worth the hype. One thing I appreciate about this model is the licensing. And right now, this model is under Apache 2.0, which basically means you have the freedom to use it however you want. To stress test this model, I moved beyond simple hair color changes. You may have seen this in the demo. I'm not going to go through it again. I'm basically using this image here as my baseline reference image. This is going to be my input image. I found this image to be an ideal test case because of the various distinct focal points, such as you can see the glasses here. We have beard. If you look in the background, you will see we have buildings. These are going to be the targets of my edit, and I will basically ask the model to do changes or modification to these focal points. I will be comparing FireRed against the Qwen Image Edit model, since these two are basically direct competitors, and I will be doing it across 15 different prompts. For time's sake, in today's video, I've selected a few of the test results, basically the one which best showcase the model strength as well as weaknesses. If you'd like to see the full complete test, it will be available on my Patreon page. Link will be in the description below. Let's take a look at the first example here. I asked both model to add a small black backpack with straps over the shoulders. Now, if we take a look at the Qwen version, it added the bag correctly, but we still have this annoying zoom in kind of effect where it's cropping the top part and bottom part of the image. Now, if we zoom in on the face, you can see we still have the same plasticky looking face. Now, keep in mind, I am not using any LoRa's on top of it. You can improve the image quality by using a realistic LoRa or a style LoRa on top of it. But just to keep things fair, I am using the base model as it is. All right, let's take a look at the FireRed version. It was able to keep the composition the same. It's actually much better than the Qwen version. We don't have the weird cropping at the top. There is also less pixel shifting. This is based on my testing. However, if we pay close attention, we can see that it completely changed the man's coat. It added a bag, yes, but it also decided to change the wardrobe completely. So when it comes to targeted edits, it's not looking great right now, but the bag is correct. Okay, so for the second test, I'm doing a complex multi-objects edit. Basically, I'm trying this complex prompt where I'm saying to add a golden retriever. I'm specifying the breed of the dog here instead of just saying a dog. For this second image, I'm saying put a coffee cup in the left hand of the person and then have the phone on the right hand. Now, if we take a look at the Qwen version, it was able to get the dog right. For the second one, it swapped the hands, but it was able to get the coffee cup as well as the phone. The face quality took a massive hit, as always. Now, in the FireRed version, it did not perform well. I would say it actually struggled a lot. The dog is, well, low quality. For the second image, it completely missed the coffee cup entirely. The face was, well, as you can see, it's not very pretty. I'm going to give both the no check mark here. All right, so for the next one, I've tried removal / replacement in the scene. I tested 3 specific tasks: removing the phone, clearing the leaves in this version, and then deleting the house which is in the back. Taking a look at the Qwen versions, the Qwen output, it was able to follow the instructions. The phone and the leaves vanish, but once again, the catch here is that the person changes every single time. So if I scroll through these different outputs here, you can see that the person could change in all 3 outputs. Now, I'd like to point out that these models are basically redrawing the entire image instead of masking one part and then editing just that one part. So that's important to keep in mind there. Now, next is this FireRed version. I will consider this a total fail when it comes to the removal front. Now, just to give it credit here, in the demo showcase on the Hugging Face page, they did not mention anything about removing objects. There was style transfer as well as addition, but they did not showcase any removal task. So we can see the output here. The first image, the phone is exactly the same. The leaves are in place. The house as well is still intact there. So when it comes to removal or subtracting things from the image, I would say the FireRed is not able to do it at all. All right, here we are getting into the scene or style changes, and I've tried a couple. The first one being from a day to night. Then I've tried going from autumn to winter, as well as changing to a Pixar style 3D render type of image. So once again, if we take a look at the images here, we can see that the Qwen was able to handle each transformation easily. It was able to change from autumn to a snowy winter setting, and we got this Pixar watercolor style. The person as well changes here in this specific case, considering that the whole style is changing, which of course is what we are going for. Now, when it comes to the losing side, it's the FireRed once again. Now, even though they mentioned that it can do style changes, I found out that the FireRed barely reacted to the prompt. The Pixar test does not even look like a 3D render. This is supposed to be a watercolor test, and it just looked like the image has like a white glitch patches all over it. Now, to give it credit, it was able to do the day to night cycle. So that's one of the transformation it was able to do. Now, of course, I've done multiple tests for each category, and you can find everything on my Patreon here. So you can see a little bit in this slide here. So here's the bottom line. Both models are using the same clip, which is the Qwen 2.5 VL, the 7 billion parameter, but it seems that the way that they are taking the tokens and processing it, like the understanding of the terminologies is different. For the Qwen image edit models, they perform better when it comes to prompt understanding. The only disadvantage as a base model, I would say, is that they kind of destroys the original image in order to get to that transformation or to that edit. It is more of an inspiration-based redrawer compared to actually editing part of the image, since it's not really targeting a specific part, it's redrawing everything. Now, when it comes to the FireRed model, it's more of a research project, I would say, as of right now. It is good when it comes to keeping the composition, the style exactly the same. We have very minimal pixel shifting, and there's no cropping at all. It's just that based on my testing, I found out that this model is a little bit rigid when it comes to actually making these edits. Okay, so let's go through the technical side of things, like the installation and setup. For those of you who would like to test out this model yourself, this is how you can get it running on your local machine. I will be using ComfyUI and I have the portable version. As for the model, you can find a link in the description below. This will take you to Hugging Face page. Click on Files and Versions and then download the FireRed ComfyUI version. You can grab the E4, M3, and version. Like if you want to save on VRAM, you can also go for the 4-bit. I guess the 4-bit is going to perform worse than the FP8 version. And in terms of placement, you'll need to put it inside of ComfyUI, Models, Diffusion_Models folder. The clip and VAE is exactly the ones that we use for the Qwen Image Edit. I have multiple videos on the Qwen Image Edit in case you would like to learn more. But quickly, you can go inside the ComfyUI Manager, click on Model Manager. And at the top here, search for Qwen, and then look for the Qwen 2.5 VL 7 billion parameter clip. And then for the VAE, look for Qwen Image VAE. For the workflow, you can grab it from the repository directly. Right click on the link here, click on Save Link As. And this is important. When you are saving it, make sure you add .json, so .json at the end. Otherwise, it's not going to be a workflow file. All right, this is future me right now. And basically, my clip for this section got corrupted, so I am re-recording this section. And well, you may see some of the things change compared to the previous clip or the next clip that you will see, but the steps should be pretty much the same. Right now, I'm going to show you how to update your ComfyUI as well as get the workflow set up. So if you already know this step, you can skip ahead. So for those following along, you will need to update your ComfyUI. I'm going to recommend, if you have the portable version, you just go into the update folder and then double clicking on update_ComfyUI.bat. This will start the update and just wait for it to complete. Once completed, start ComfyUI like you would normally do. And at this point, you can drag and drop the workflow file, so the .json file, directly inside of ComfyUI. It's going to look something like this without the images. Now next, I'm going to show you how you can use the templates directly inside of ComfyUI to load a Qwen image edit workflow and then modify it to use the FireRed in case you are trying to experiment and you would like to have both in one single workflow. So first, go into the templates. Make sure to clear any filters that you may already have, and then you can simply select this one or any other Qwen template that is available here. Then make sure you are downloading the text encoder as well as the VAE. You don't need the Qwen Image Edit 2509 or 2511 downloaded for today's tutorial, but if you'd like to have that as a comparison, you can download it. Also, there's no need to download the multi-angle. That is only for Qwen, and there's also the 4 steps lightning for 2509. There's the 2511 as well, depending on the workflow that you are loading. I'm going to recommend using this if you are doing experimentation, but if you are moving to your final production ready image generation, then bypass these 4 steps and do 20-25 steps normally. So the workflow I will be using for the remaining of this tutorial, like for the future clips that you will be seeing, is this Qwen Image Edit one. All right, once you load the template workflow, it will look something like this. And on this side here, you will have all the details for the models in case you need to download them. And at the bottom, it will tell you where to place everything. Now, the FireRed model is going to go inside of Diffusion model, similar to where the Qwen Image Edit is going. Okay, now I found out that there is a mistake in this workflow. If you click on this icon here to go inside the subgraph, notice how we have, well, the model here, the prompt. There are these 2 groups. The top one tells you that we have number of steps is 20, and this number of steps goes into this switch here. And then we have steps here. This is the 4 steps, and this one goes into the switch as well. So we can switch between 20 or 4 steps in this specific workflow. However, the mistake that I found in this workflow is that in here, the output is not connected to the case sampler. So you will need to simply connect this output to the steps like this. And once you have this connected, everything should work fine. So you can see at the bottom here, there is a switch, and this switch is for the CFG, and the output is connected to the CFG here. So just make sure that the switch for the number of steps is connected. Otherwise, it will always be at 4 steps like this. Okay, so make sure you are connecting the output to number of steps like this. Okay, using the workflow, we'll just need to go back to the top level, and then we'll start here from the second one. This is the unit. You will select the FireRed Image Edit 1.0. Then we have the clip name. This is going to be the Qwen 2.5 BL7B text encoder. Then there is the VAE. Once again, it's the Qwen Image VAE. And in this workflow itself, you can enable the Qwen Image Edit Lightning 4 steps. And at the top here is where you can get the turbo mode. The turbo mode, if it is false, it will do 20 steps, and if it is true, it will do 4 steps. Okay, so if you're using the FireRed Image Edit 1.0 ComfyUI workflow, drag it and drop it inside of ComfyUI. And then in this section here is where you will add the models. Just below the naming here, I don't have a higher resolution screenshot, unfortunately, since I lost that footage, but at the top is going to be the load diffusion model. Then we have the LoRa, and we have the clip and the VAE. So just click on the drop down and select everything from what we've already told before. In here is where you are going to change your positive prompt. You can add a negative prompt here, and you will see in the case sampler here, you can change your number of steps as well as CFG. So this one is not going to be automatic, like just toggling a button for it to change from 20 to 4 or 4 to 20, as well as the CFG. You can also add your own switch to this workflow if you'd like to. That is why I recommend using the templates version. It's much easier to use, and once you generate, you should be able to see your result like this. In the template version, all you'll have to do is to add your image and then decide whether you want to enable the turbo. In this particular example, I have the turbo mode on, and this will use 4 steps, and you can see it going like this, and at the end you will get your result. Thanks for watching until the very end. Thanks to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon. Have a nice day, take care. I will see you next time.